The Surge Robot Souls. The Surge is a Souls-like RPG all about the grind. Here you play as either a technician who's agile and quick or a brute who does more damage but is slower. Each have their own advantages and disadvantages, of course. I chose to play as a brute. I was surprised how much I initially enjoyed this game. The game is definitely challenging but not quite at the level of the Souls games or Neo. The maps are fairly self-contained and compact here. This makes it very easy to memorize enemy location when it comes to the grinding and crafting portion of the game. The combat with regular enemies is pretty decent and feels fair, at least when it's one-on-one. You can lock onto them and target specific body parts to attempt to solve certain gear. Sometimes you'll get new gear like weapons, but mostly you'll just get parts along with scraps to craft armor from schematics you find in the world. There's really no true loot system here. The scraps are essentially your souls, and like in the Souls games, if you die you have to go recollect them, this time with a timer, but the timer goes up the more enemies you kill. And you are able to bank them in your Medbay, which is where you go to heal, level up, install new implants for added perks like consumable health, craft new weapons and armor, upgrade them, and refill your consumables. Leveling up just requires scraps, while crafting and upgrading requires scraps as well as random items you have to pick off of enemies based on luck, of course. And also like the Souls games, going to this room respawns every enemy you've killed, which is a gift and a curse. A gift because you can grind. Worlds are small and bosses are brutal. You're definitely going to grind for levels and upgrades. A curse because once you do finally make it to a boss, they're all on your way trying to do some damage to you before you even get there. But before we get to the bosses, there's definitely some cheapness going on outside of them. Things don't really start getting cheap until the second section of the game. Here you get a drone friend, which is nice, though to use them you have to fill up your energy bar a bit, but by the time this happens, you've usually already killed the enemy, so it's pretty useless. But this is where enemies start using ranged gun type weapons that you can't do anything about, but take the damage and push forward. There are no health pickups here. You're relying on your implants to replenish your health, except for the extremely rare refill stations, and by rare I mean like one in a map. But still, it was fun to push forward, grind, find alternate paths, unlock shortcuts like demon souls, so when you do die you can skip giant sections of the map to get right back to where you died. These cheap moments were annoying and unfair, but I still didn't mind them, at least not as much as the boss battles. The bosses here aren't necessarily hard by themselves. They're pretty simple and easy to figure out. The difficulty comes in the game's design, both level and combat. For starters, enemy attacks go right through solid objects. There is no hiding behind beams. That aside, this combat system was not designed for the boss battles, at least not with both classes or every weapon in mind. The second boss in this game is where I stopped, and I did so not because it was tough. I knew its patterns, I knew how to defeat it. The problem was, as a brute, maybe this is just a brute problem, but as a brute, the problem was the timing of this boss's attacks. Enemies will telegraph their attacks, give you some time to get out of the way, but you're locked into animations here. You're able to dodge in combat, but only if you're not attacking. And this boss demands quick hits and dodging. And this just isn't possible to do efficiently as a brute, especially not with a heavier weapon. Don't get me wrong, I definitely get lucky and have a flawless first stage of this battle, but the second stage when you have to attack it from underneath is when things really start to get unfair because your character doesn't get out of his animation fast enough for you to have time to dodge the near insta-kill slam this enemy does when you're underneath. And after hours of trying and grinding for more health, I just couldn't do it anymore. I felt like I could defeat it, but I need luck on my side. This force lock into combat animations mixed with the journey back to the boss each time just got the best of me. Oh, did I mention the bad hit detection? Cause there's bad hit detection. Both from enemies, as I'd randomly lose damage during fights without being touched, and from you, as your attacks will do nothing at times, especially to bosses. Based off of what I saw though, the Surge is still a good game. It's addictive in the way that the Souls games are, but at moments it falls into the category of unfair more than it does challenging. And that sours the addictive and great moments that are here too. The more you use a weapon, the more efficient your character comes with that weapon type, but the game is just not designed throughout to accompany every single player type. And I'm not a fan of being forced to play a certain way, especially not in RPGs. I give the Surge a 7 out of 10. If you played the Surge, tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you haven't played it, tell me if you plan on picking it up. Thumbs up. If you like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks for watching.
Enforce maximum healing measures. Rehabilitation implemented. Status critical. Reload initiated. Backup drives initiated.
If you like this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue to bring you reviews for all the newest games at patreon.com/superkengaming. You'll get access to early audio and video versions of reviews, exclusive Let's Play videos, and you'll even get to choose the game I play next. Thanks for watching, and of course, stay beautiful.